Hi, I'm Allan. I'm a psychotherapist and a writer. Welcome to my Headbangers video, where I reveal the secrets of classic rock songs. Today we're going back to 1971. The band is Led Zeppelin. The song is Stairway to Heaven. Now I'm going to assume that everybody listening to this video knows the song, but if you don't, there is a link in the notes below, and please listen to the song before you listen to this analysis. It's a lovely song, so it's well worth taking the time. Now, I'm going to suggest that Stairway to Heaven ultimately focuses on two aspects of being human. One is the challenges of life, especially the challenge of who we are and what our life's about. And the other is moments of transcendence, where we move beyond those issues. Now, in about 40 years after the release of Stairway to Heaven, Jimmy Page did an interview with the BBC where he talked about how he composed the music for the song. Let's just hear what Jimmy has to say about Stairway to Heaven.
A piece of music, a composition, whereby it would just keep unfolding into more layers and more moods, and actually the whole intensity of or subtlety and the intensity of the overlay of the composition would actually accelerate as it went through on every level, every emotional level, every musical level, and so it just keeps opening up as it continues through its sort of passage.
So I'm a writer, I'm not a musician, but as a lay person, listening to the challenge that Jimmy has set out for himself, I go, oh my God, that is an amazing undertaking. So let's just hear some of what Jimmy has to say about how he worked through the challenge that he set himself.
I wanted to try to put something together which started with quite a fragile, exposed acoustic guitar playing in sort of style of a poor man's bourrée by Bach, that sort of aspect. As far as the instrumentation goes, there are going to be there's recorders to the early part, which gives it sort of slightly medieval feel.
So I find what Jimmy says really interesting. I mean, I've never heard another rock musician talk about starting with fragility or being exposed. So it's a very sort of brave beginning that he starts with. Let's just hear the beginning of Stairway to Heaven. So most rock songs, they grab you and they drag you along. Jimmy sort of says, just settle, just take your time, just relax, and just trust me that I'm going to take you on a journey. So let's now hear how he works with the complexity of Stairway to Heaven.
What I'd learnt about John Bonham, that he could be really effective if he came in somewhere down the line on the song. If there's a buffer in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. And so everything is starting to open up on this map, on this journey through. And all of this stuff was planned, you know, it wasn't just an accident, or everyone chipping in. It was just, it really was a sort of design.
And then, of course, Jimmy takes us to that great climax with the guitar solo. Let's listen to what he has to say.
The concept of the solo was to have something like a sort of fanfare, so it's a definite transition. So it comes in with a fanfare to introduce this solo, and the solo is just going to soar right through.
And so Jimmy says that Robert Plant, the lead singer and also the lyricist for Stairway to Heaven, was very inspired by the music that Jimmy was creating. So as Jimmy's composing Stairway to Heaven, Robert's sitting in the corner, scribbling away on a notepad. And by the time Jimmy had finished composing the music, Robert Plant had 90% of the lyrics ready to go. So Robert Plant, he sort of creates a quite a moralistic song. He tells us it's about life and the life we're living, and he tells us there's two paths we can go by. Here's the first path.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying stairway to heaven. And when she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. Ooh, ooh, and she's buying the stairway.
So the first path we can follow is a materialistic path, which is about the accumulation of wealth. And it's a little bit more than that. It's actually a mindset that money can make us happy, wealth can make us free, even spiritually free. And then Robert introduces us to the other path. Here it is now.
And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the truth, then the Bible will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter.
So the second path is a more spiritual path. Robert introduces the concept of the piper, who's either a wise person or a wise text or a wise part of ourselves, which takes us to wisdom, that takes us to the truth. And it's not only in finding the truth and living this path, it's not only life affirming for us, but it also heals the planet. The forests will echo with laughter. Now, most people who analyse the meaning of Stairway to Heaven stay with Robert's lyrics, and they consider the tension between right and wrong, good and evil, materialism and spirituality. But I'm going to suggest that Stairway to Heaven takes us deeper than that and into has more to do with us than a philosophy, and so sometimes Robert he's actually he's right in our face.
Your head is humming, I won't go if you don't know. The piper's calling you to join him.
So he actually confronts us. He confronts us. He says, we're not living the truth. We're suffering because we're not listening to the piper. And what ultimately, I mean, Robert, his lyrics are very poetic. His singing is soft and beautiful in accord with Jimmy Page's music. But really what he's saying is he's confronting us, and he's saying, what sort of life are you living? What path are you going down? Are you on the greedy, self-centered path where you really don't care about community, you don't really care about the planet? Or are you on the more generous spiritual path where you're much more open and much more in tune with yourself, the people around you and the planet? So that's where Robert takes us, into that really important existential sort of challenge that we basically face constantly in our life, like who are we and what's the life we're living. Jimmy Page, with his music, takes another tact. He starts with fragility, so the fragility of being human, and then he moves us from there to where we soar. I mean, no wonder this song is so popular. I mean, what a great trajectory. But Jimmy's tapping into that part of us that wants us to be bigger than who we are, and lose ourselves in a broader context, where the world is bigger than our day-to-day reality, and we are bigger than our day-to-day reality, and we're looking for that, all the time. We're always looking for places where we can lose ourselves in a good way. But also you can sort of also say that what Jimmy Page does is that as a member of a band that's known for its success, he finds this part of him, in Robert Plant's words, he finds the piper within him, the wise part of him. And in that wisdom, he's able to create something that it takes us all beyond ourselves, that brings us all together in a piece of music that is quite beautiful. So that's how I sort of see Stairway to Heaven. Robert Plant confronts us with the existential issue of who we are, and Jimmy Page takes us out of that. And I suppose what Jimmy sort of brings is it may not be as black and white as what Robert says it is. That the best we can do is find that inner piper as much as we can and live as truly as we can in the face of extraordinary pressure to not be true to ourselves. So thank you to Led Zeppelin. What a wonderful song, and thank you to Jimmy Page in particular. What a fantastic effort. And thank you all for listening to my Headbangers video. I'd love to hear your comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification button. And I'll see you at the next Headbangers video. Thank you.